he wants it. He's tell Daddy he's gonna break me up. You know, he's gonna put me into a retirement. You know, so he's coming to win. You know, of course he's a winner, but he's up against me. I do feel sorry for him because he's got this version of me and. Ooh.
Do you know what I felt when I walked in here today? It really reminded me of 2014 when we all came here, when your belt was presented here. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember.
I felt quite emotional walking in here. It was a very special day, that, wasn't it? Did you feel that when you come in here?
I felt
he is holding him ever so tightly, and Garrett's got uncomfortable.
I got
Look.
welcome home with open hands. You know, all the fans here. You know, I've put so many shows on in Sheffield at Sheffield Arena.
20, isn't it?
You know,
24.
No, not 24. I mean, he's boxed a few times. It won't be 24. It might be. You might do your numbers. We don't look at numbers, but maybe.
I added them up. It's either 24 or 18.
Yeah. I don't know, but I remember Naz being here with a full Monty. Of course, it was unbelievable. Ryan Rose, Johnny Nelson, Eubank. But that was just like a.
Do you know who rang me today?
I've been back topping build.
But Naz rang today because you're fighting this weekend.
Yeah, I bring them all out.
He's here. He's here.
I bring them all out.
Yeah,
you know, I bring them all out. So, you know, it's fantastic for the city. We're from Sheffield, and we're very proud of that. And we're going to put a performance on Saturday night.
All right, finally, what can we expect from the arena, the atmosphere, the people on Saturday night?
I'm expecting it to be electrifying. You know, that's what I'm wanting. You know, that excitement. You don't understand when you walk through and then bright lights, all of the lights come on. You walk out.
The violins are playing away, and
the violins, the goose pimples are just there. They're there for you. This is the moment we weeks and months have been preparing for this particular moment. And when you get your hands raised high, that's what it's all about.
And then we're going on tour to America for a world title, yeah?
Of course. That's where we're getting. We're going for them.
Whoever's got a belt,
whoever's got the belt, we're coming.
Lovely. We'll end it on that. Well, perfect. We're coming.
We are coming with force.
Ezekiel is coming.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Lovely
Thank
to
you
see
so
you.
much.
You're
Thank you
fantastic.
both. Thank you.
Cheers, brother.
As always.
Cheers. I know we've got to finish the show. I've got a copy of the Telegraph for you.
Yes.
As well.
Take care. See you soon. Gareth.
Kel?
Oh, glorious. Listen, we're back.
Yeah.
Boxing's back on Britain's shores, and what?
What's up? This is a part of a 30-day marathon, my third stream in 3 days. 4, right? We're going to be here tomorrow morning for the final press conference for, well, technically this morning. It's midnight here, 12:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What is it? February, what's today's date? 6? 2019, right? It's the 6th, right? What's today's date? 6. Yeah, 2020. My bad. That press conference is in about 8 hours. So, you know, I'm going to go. Actually, I slept all day for the most part. So I'm going to be here in 8 hours for that press conference. Let's talk about the card. So this weekend, for those who don't know, we're going to talk about it later on in the video. Tomorrow, after the Brook versus DeLuca press conference, I'm going to be going on a road trip to Allentown, PA, for the final press conference and fight week press conference for Gary Russell Jr. versus Tustsogt Nyambayar of Mongolia. That's going to headline Showtime Championship Boxing this weekend with Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Liborio, how do you say that guy's name? Solis for the 118-pound WBA world title in Allentown, PA. It's also going to be Box Nation over there in the UK. So basically, Saturday's lineup is this card right here with Kell Brook versus Mark DeLuca, Kid Galahad versus Claudio Marrero, Terry Harper versus Ava Wallstrom. Dave Allen is on there against the TBA. I think they announced this guy's name, though, who he's fighting. Then after this card's over, the Showtime or over there in the UK, Box Nation card is going to start with Gary Russell versus Tustsogt Nayambayar. I'm going to be at that fight. Right? We are 16 days away from Wilder Fury 2. I was going to say Showtime. Fox and ESPN over here in the States and over in the UK. BT Sport Boxing. You picking Gary Russell to lose this weekend? Look at the odds. I don't know, man. I watched some fights on Tug. you know, I watched some tape, but we're going to talk about that later on. So where's Kell Brook right now in the 154-pound division? This fight is taking place at 154 pounds. The guy he's fighting, Mark DeLuca, I've seen fight before, and you have too. Maybe you were doing other shit while the card was on, but he's fought on some cards that you've seen before. Also, all this time, I've been covering some Murphy's boxing cards. I didn't know that the Murphy's boxing was the dropkick, Murphy's the band. I didn't know that till today. Mark DeLuca, 24-1 with 13 KOs. You know, if you've noticed how wacky the 154-pound division is lately, over the last year, then, you know, you can't count Mark DeLuca out. With Jason Rosario, current IBF and WBA Super 150, and IBO 154-pound champion. When you look at Jamel Charlo getting his belt back from a Tony Harrison in a very, very close fight, up until the stoppage, of course. When we look at Jared Swift Hurd, we don't know what's going on with him. He's stuck in between styles. Jaime Munguia vacated. Patrick Teixeira beat Carlos Adames in what was an upset at that time to become the new 154-pound WBO champion. It's just wacky. Bakram Murtazaliev is the IBF mandatory. Don't be surprised because he can possibly beat, you know, Jason Rosario, but that's neither here or there. You have Erickson Lubin, Sergio Garcia that may fight for an interim title. Jason Rosario also, according to Samson Lukovitz, his promoter, manager, or whatever. I think he's a promoter or manager, whatever. Anyway, he's supposed to be he's a manager, having a fight coming up next. And then I expect when I update my rankings over the next couple of days, Kell Brook, as you can see, is already ranked by the WBC, but I expect for him to have a WBA ranking. In fact, let's go check right now. See if my man Kell Brook is up in those rankings. As you know, Eddie Hearn is in cahoots. Well, everybody in cahoots with the fucking WBA. Let's see, what's the rankings looking like? You got Mark DeLuca. So if Kell Brook was to win, expect for him to take Mark DeLuca's spot or even higher. So this is what this spot is for Kell Brook to get into the rankings. Hey, somebody, who the fuck? Bro, I don't read the fucking chat. T Street, you were recommended to me as a good channel. Can't roll. Somebody put him on timeout. Motherfucker, I'm not even reading the chat. You asshole. Don't be coming on my show. I hate when people try to come on my show and tell me what the fuck to do. Don't you see me reading rankings? You see me clearly reading rankings and shit, and then I glance over to the chat and I see this fucking long-ass fucking essay. The fuck, man? Fucking snowflakes. Y'all make me sick. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, if Kell Brook beat Mark DeLuca, then Mark DeLuca's going to have a ranking at 154 pounds. All right? Now I'm untethered. And I'm enraged. Shit. By the way, it's some shit going on in Australia. My man was calling me while I was asleep. Shout out to Jason Fletcher over in Australia. Anyway, it's some real crazy shit going on over in Australia in regards to their 154-pound division shit going on. Because you got Jeff Horn, who's supposed to be taking on Tim Tszyu. You got Michael Zarafa, who almost ended, technically he kind of could have ended Kell Brook's career because he looked like, to me, remind me, when you watched the Michael Zarafa fight, did Michael Zarafa get a bad decision? I don't remember, or were the cards just off, like it was a close fight? Hey, somebody put Willie Boy in timeout. I'm sick of his shit. You fucking snowflake. I almost called you the F-bomb. I'm going to call you somebody put him on timeout. So, I think that this fight, it was a close fight. Well, anyway, Michael Zarafa had lost to Kell Brook. And don't be surprised if you see if Kell Brook can't get a title shot. Don't be surprised if you see Kell Brook versus a Jeff Horn if Jeff Horn beats Tim Tszyu. Don't be surprised. You heard it here first. 154 is wacky though. Like for example, if you were Kell Brook, where's he gonna go for his title? And you know how Eddie Hearn is. He gonna try to put Kell Brook in a situation to get a PBC belt to try to bring one of those PBC fighters over to the zone, or force them to drop their belt, or try to, or interim or franchise situation. I wouldn't be surprised if motherfucking Jermell Charlo become a franchise champion. I wouldn't be surprised. It was with a different trainer. I remember I covered that fight. He did look like shit. He went back to Engel, right? Yeah, we just saw Engel, so he is back with him. Yeah, we don't know what's going on with Erislandy Lara. I don't know what the fuck is going on with him, but he need to get in the mix. Fuck it, give me Jason Rosario versus Erislandy Lara. The problem is Jason Rosario, not him, but his man Samson Lukovic, his handler, they want him to hold on to them titles, bro. Like Charlo and Hurd, they kind of fucked that shit up. They should have fought like immediately. Hurd had, shoulder surgery and shit like that, whatever, when he fought Jason Wilborn or whatever. Like, we're not going to see an undisputed for. We may not ever see it now. It was close. We could have seen at least a 3-belt champion at 154 pounds. The rematch clause, it could be the rematch clause. I forgot about that with J-Rock. Yeah, but I think they should do that shit immediately. But with the way that J-Rock lost to Rosario, it looks like the rematch may be the same way or even worse. You dig me? Looks like it might be the same way, even worse. But either way, I'm down for it. And also boxing needs this. Fighters bullshit around too much. J-Rock, I respect him, and I'm gonna have a high amount of respect for him if he go right back in there with the for the rematch clause, like right back in there. Also, if you look at what Kell Brook did, now that since we're talking about this card, for him to fight Golovkin at 160, didn't drop down 13 pounds to fight Errol Spence in his next fight. Big balls. Some big balls, man. Big balls. Yeah, I've heard about Canelo versus Murata not happening. I'm kind of glad, though. That got some joints. I'm kind of glad, though. Because I want Billy Joe Saunders or Colin Smith, preferably Billy Joe Saunders. But don't be surprised if Canelo fights somebody like fucking John Ryder. We already talked about Castaño beating Teixeira, bro. You late, bro. You late. I want Billy Joe. So yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna be on a road trip. Obviously, one of my number one questions for Gary Russell was like, okay, so one time a year, huh? What fights have fallen through? What fights didn't get made? I'm going to be shocked if there's a lot of people there. I'm going to be like, oh, shit. Some money issues, likely, of course. See, Canelo got to the Mayweather status where he do be kind of trying to pimp people out. Okay, say for example, right here in the States, Canelo money is guaranteed. That's the zone. He get that guaranteed, what is it, 32, 33 million? But when you fight somebody like Murata, right, over in Japan and all that, you get that extra TV money. So that's how Canelo is able to bypass whether he can get a certain guarantee of money here in the States because he's not fighting on pay-per-view. But, bro, killing me, bro. So if you fight somebody like Murata who brings in millions and millions of TV ratings over in that region, and he brings in so much money, then Canelo will get some of that money. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if they tried to pimp him or whatever. Let me call this man, tell this man, and call him back. But yeah. Will we ever see Canelo versus Golovkin 3? I think it'll happen, especially since Golovkin looked like he lost to Sergey Derevyanchenko. And once again, Canelo is smart. Canelo is using that Mayweather, blueprint in regards to he sees that Golovkin is getting older, and he's starting to look it. Yeah, it's a rumor that it's made, that it's going to be happening. As Canelo was very pissed at Golden Boy for structuring his DAZN contract around Golovkin, which means that Canelo, when he signed with the DAZN, Golden Boy structured it off of a Canelo versus Golovkin third fight. I'm not getting into but Canelo not staying in one weight class. What does that mean? You trying to bait me into like a pointless argument? We're not talking. You know it. We're not even talking about that. We're not even talking about that, bro. We're not even talking about that. You think he may pick Caleb Plant Lex? It don't work like that. Al Haymon ain't doing that shit. It don't work like that. I'm sorry. Caleb Plant. You think Caleb Plant going to the zone? One of PBC's on Fox top fighters, let alone not just a Haymon fighter, but a Fox fighter. Over here in the States, I don't see that happening. I'm sorry, I don't. I think that Al Haymon would veto the shit out of that, just like he would Caleb Plant. Whether you got to understand like the landscape in politics and boxing right now. Al Haymon is not going to let somebody like Caleb Plant. Even though you may say, well, Caleb Plant ain't nowhere making that much, Al Haymon don't work like that. He would have Caleb Plant fucking turn down $200 million. No, not 200, probably 50. Hey, have Caleb Plant turn down $50 million and tell Caleb Plant, no, we got this big plan for you over here at PBC on Fox and all this. That's how they get down. That's how they get down. Also, you got to think, I don't see Canelo fighting for an IBF title anyway, because Canelo don't like when they try to tell him who mandatories is.
I swear on God and them and my city, Roger Castillo has just donated $1 through Super Chat. I wanna see Canelo versus C. Smith.
Yeah, but even though Colin Smith will look bad in his last fight against John Ryder, it's still dangerous. He had a bad night, Yeah, I do. I always put WD-40 on my chair every 6 months. I just haven't got around to it. I'm getting a new chair. I need like a big ass fucking chair, man. This chair is old as shit now, 2 years old. Thanks, Roger Castillo, for the super chat. But yeah, man. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with Tank's situation anymore, man. I heard the police have more video. Listen, that shit is sad. Tank is on some, I don't know what's up with it. You think Haymon would allow Benavidez? Benavidez is signed to a promoter. Yo, if you're a Haymon fighter, you don't do nothing. When are y'all going to learn? Haymon fighters don't do nothing unless Haymon says so. It was very, very, very difficult for Danny Jacobs to get away from Al Haymon, let me tell you. Y'all haven't, I'm surprised people still, it's a pattern. Like, yo, you don't do shit unless Al Haymon tell you. You will turn down all kinds of money. That's it's glaring. It's right there, Like, so David Benavidez, remember David Benavidez tried to go to Top Rank. Remember that? They gave him a signing bonus and all that shit. Tank Davis is worse off than Broner, though, because remember, Broner was accomplishing shit before all his bullshit started happening. Broner ain't really started becoming a dickhead until you saw around and after the Paulie Malignaggi fight. It first started when he took Paulie Malignaggi's side piece. That's what you get. A man's side piece is like better than his best friend, better than his girl. You don't mess with another man's side piece, and definitely don't brag about her. Definitely don't brag about taking somebody's side piece. Shit. Shit. Well, I don't know about the Mikey Garcia situation, but it is not easy to get out of. And yeah, Mikey Garcia was on a fight-by-fight deal. But it's not easy. Hold on. Back up. Get back over there. We're not friends right now. Go over there now and sit down. That's the dog. He's been on my shit list today. He's been just eating stuff. You know? He's on a one-fight contract with a fight-by-fight contract with Eddie Hearn, but Eddie Hearn structured it so that, you know, they have the right to match any offer. That's crazy. So he making sure that, okay, well, Al Haymon, you know, you want Mikey Garcia back? How much you offer him? We gonna match it. That's crazy. Mikey Garcia's in a very good situation. Also, both of these boxing schedules for February and March is looking real suspect, right? Between PBC and ESPN, you know, it seems as though PBC on Fox is regressing. Plant not ducking Benavidez. Caleb Plant is fighting his mandatory, his IBF mandatory, by the way. IBF, you know they'll strip you. You know, so... yeah, at this point in time, I'm just hyped for Wilder Fury, too. Just hyped for it to get here. Like, all right, you know, just get here. He brought himself out. You talking about he brought himself out of the top rank contract, bro. Yo, don't come in here with old news, or I'll put you on timeout again. He is supposed to fight Benavidez next. Benavidez is going to fight Avni Yildirim, his mandatory. Avni Yildirim, I don't know. Avni Yildirim got his mandatory because his fight with Anthony Durrell ended in a cut. So he went to some... Jesus Christ.
Roger Castillo has just donated $. However, you're still a degenerate through and through. You sicken me. Al Haymon ruin boxing. Tyson, 100.
Zone 100. Thanks, Roger. I can't see. It's hard. Al Haymon changed a lot of shit. And you got to think, right? Fighters love him because if it wasn't for Al Haymon, it wouldn't be this much money in boxing. But at the same time, if it wasn't for Al Haymon, there's a whole lot of other shit that wouldn't be either. You see what I'm saying? So my relationship or my thoughts on Al Haymon is, you know, and I've met him twice. No, I've met him once and encountered him. I have encountered him twice. I look at it like this. It's like I see what he's doing, but this is a man that don't use no smartphones or nothing like that. You dig me? He had a Motorola. His suits look like they've been pressed like too many times, and he's a billionaire. So he's a recluse to an extent, and you be wondering how in touch is he when he be putting on certain fights. Like, bro, don't you read social media comments and shit? Don't you know people like shitting on these fights? What the fuck is Mike Dallas Jr. fucking fighting Ugas on Fox Sports 1? What the fuck? Like, Adam Klimowski versus Robert Helenius is headlining? Robert Helenius, PBC fighters been beating up on him for a good 2 years now. You know, shit like that. So, you know, I don't know, man. I'm never going to say he's bad for boxing, but I don't be liking some of his fucking moves. I'd be like, bro, like, what the fuck? No, the dude from the Impact Network reached out to me. He said, I don't have nothing to do with it. He saw my video. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that Inoue versus Casimero video. They're going to be officially announcing that soon. it's done from what we're hearing, but it hasn't been officially announced. Like, it's not, official yet. Joseph Parker is back on that Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas card. That card's starting to grow on me a little bit. That Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas joint. This is the media workout from obviously Kell Brook, Mark DeLuca. Joseph Parker is fighting Shawndell Winters. It's basically just a comeback, stay busy fight. And I know his last fight was supposed to be against Derek Chisora. So it makes you wonder. And he pulled out of that fight because of a spider bite. So it makes you wonder, like, this is what they came up with. You know? All these boxers talking about being their own boss on the PBC, but Mikey the only one making his own boss moves. Mikey, that was some real smart shit Mikey did. That was some real, that was some real ball shit Mikey did. Because he can fight for whoever he wants for the most part. And it's like, if Eddie Hearn want to keep him, he got a match to offer. Yeah, he said a spider bit him. Joyce Dubois, their press conference is on Friday morning. We're going to be here for that. Benavidez and Murata is next for Canelo. To you, who is next for Canelo? Logically, it would be Billy Joe Saunders, Sergey Derevianchenko, fighters that are already on the zone. Because the zone has a say in who Canelo fights. Remember, they have to approve it. Like, they have a say, Because they're the one who pays him his guaranteed money. And you got to think, how much are they going to pay to bring one of those fighters over to the zone? Because Haymon going to play hardball like, yo, I know y'all got the money. So give him $15 million for him to come over there. Hold on, I'm going to be right back. I'll take the dog out. He's bitching at me.
That's what they do at the Ingle Gym. They like to be able to switch southpaw and orthodox and southpaw. They like to be versatile in a fight. If one hand's damaged and you want to power punch with the other hand, you can then do so. If your punches are coming through cleaner in one stance rather than the other, they've always got that versatility to be able to move. And it's been a cornerstone of the way of the Ingle method. Yeah. Remember, have you ever been to the gym there? In the Winkerbank Gym, the St Thomas Boys Club, there are tram lines where they get them to work up and down, to work both stances. And that's what Brendan makes people do by rote, or made people do by rote, as the first thing they ever did. It's what Nazim Hamid did, when he was a 7-year-old boy. It's what all those fighters have done. It's a method that's really worked for so many people.
All right, listen, talk to me. Saturday night, Kell Brook cannot just win this fight, can he?
Well, if it goes the distance, it's 5-2.
Yes.
If it doesn't go the distance, it's 2-7. I'm just reading through the bottom third of the screen.
You are indeed.
It looked like I knew what I was talking about with the odds there.
Yeah, I know.
No. Look, I don't know. DeLuca is a very tough man. I think he can be drawn into a scrap.
Yep.
I think
Andre needs a significant fight badly. Like, his resume, man. He needs a big fight badly. Well, put it this way. Whoever, I look at it like this. Fuck it. Whoever Canelo doesn't fight, then Billy Joe Saunders, then Andre should fight him. So if he talking about he'll move up and fight at a catchweight and all that shit, or he'll move up, then fuck it. Give me Andre versus Conor Smith at 168 over in the UK. Put that shit in the stadium or something. Make everybody happy. Then Canelo fight Billy Joe Saunders, or vice versa. Switch that shit around. Give me an Andre versus Derevianchenko. We don't know what he's doing. I have questions about him. Is he a DeBella fighter that still has PBC ties, or what? Because DeBella has been still working somewhat with PBC, but it's like almost like, in like from previous arrangements. So where's the Sergey Derevyanchenko? Does he want to stay on the zone? You know, does he want to, you know, is he going back over there to Haymon? Will he fight Charlo, or are they going to go with Charlo versus Eubank Jr.? Nah, tournaments are very hard to put together and hard to complete because of injuries and all that shit. You know, look how long it took the World Boxing Super Series. That was like a, you know, a feat in itself for them to do that, especially season 1. The zone has many different combinations, but how fuck Andre can't get no fight? And you got Danny Jacobs returning. But you know, Danny Jacobs and Andre say like they're really, really close friends. I talked to Demetrius Andre, and he was saying like him and no, it was Danny Jacobs. Like yo, like we're friends. It's not like a situation where it was me and Peter Quillen where we were acquaintances and they were saying we were friends, but we wasn't really. You know, it's a different situation. So yeah, Danny Jacobs is returning soon. After that shit show against Chavez Jr., fucking Chavez Jr. You see Gamboa, 1 foot, 1 shoe, out there fighting. Chavez get punched in the nose and quit. Son of a bitch. No, he's not. Chavez Sr. is a saint. Rosado deserved to fight Andre, and Solusky was close. I don't know if I'll be happy with Andre versus Rosado. In fact, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna be happy with Andre versus Rosado. You know, we all like Rosado, but we don't want to see that shit. Come on, man, Andre, come on. No, bro. How can you do anything with Chavez Jr.? Let him stay where he at. I don't want to see him no more. Let him stay where he at. You know? Andre Charlo Hearn said he'll allow it to happen. Okay, well then, fuck it. Let it happen. Send the money. But, of course, it would have to be on pay-per-view. It can't be on regular Showtime if Andre Charlo happened. Yeah, right. You think this? Yeah, right. They would say if it happens on Showtime, it's going to be pay-per-view. But it's all about what Sergey is doing. What is he doing, you know? Or what will his handlers allow him to do? Also, we haven't heard from Tevin Farmer. I really think from my research that it was his eye. Like his eye got knocked out of his place or something. Crazy shit, man. Put Andre Charlo on Fox. Why pay-per-view? Because the business don't work like that. They can't have a Charlo making a $2 million and an Andre making a $2 million. It just don't work like that. I'm sorry. Like, these are the politics and the things that you guys got to know. You know, if you really, like, it don't work like that. They can't do it like that. It's too much money to fight. If Andre was to go over to fight Charlo, you know, on Fox, then that means that Eddie Hearn is going. It just don't work like that, bro. It just don't work like that. I'm sorry. I was shocked that they were able to pull off Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. Crazy. They would never do it again, though. They would never do it again. I don't know, man. Why won't Andre? I'm not Golovkin. Ask him. You know? But listen, I got to be back in about 6 hours. So, I'm out of here. I'm T Street Controversy with FightView360.com. We got a press conference coming in the morning. Please subscribe.